All right, let's jump right in. We're about to pull back the curtain on something you use every single second, but probably never think about: your own mind. Because the way you experience reality, what you're seeing and hearing right now, is not as simple as you think, not even close.
Yep, you heard that right. Not in some big conspiracy theory kind of way. We're talking about thousands of tiny, invisible lies happening every single moment. And these little lies are constantly shaping what you see, what you remember, and what you believe to be true.
So, what's going on here? Well, this so-called lying isn't a glitch. It's not a bug in your system. It's actually a feature, a really old, really important survival mechanism. Your brain is built for speed and efficiency, not for perfect, 100% accuracy. It's its secret weapon for getting through the day without crashing. Think about it like this. You see a coffee mug on your desk. You know it's a coffee mug instantly, right? But your eyes don't send the perfect high-def photo of that mug to your brain. Nope. They send a messy jumble of information, little fragments of light, shadow, and color. Your brain takes that mess, and in a split second, it guesses. It fills in all the blanks based on every other mug it's ever seen. It's a prediction, a shortcut.
But here's where it gets really fun. What happens when those brilliant little shortcuts get it wrong? This is the best part, because visual illusions let us catch our brain in the act of making these flawed guesses.
So take a look at this, a classic illusion. Don't overthink it, just go with your gut. Your brain is screaming at you with total confidence that one of these lines is definitely longer than the other one. It's obvious, isn't it?
And you'd be wrong. If you were to pull out a ruler, you'd see they are exactly the same length. So what just happened? Your brain saw those little fins on the end and it made an assumption. It applied a rule from the 3D world about corners and distance. It's a rule that's usually super helpful, but here it completely tricks you. It's a perfect example of how what you see is just your brain's best guess, not reality itself.
Now, this whole process of guessing and filling in the gaps, it doesn't just mess with what we see. It fundamentally changes how we remember our own lives. We like to think our memory as a perfect video recording of the past, but the truth is, it's a lot more like a creative writer, constantly editing the story.
See, every single time you remember something, you're not just hitting play. You're actually rebuilding that memory from scratch using a few key pieces it saved. And in that process, your brain fills in the gaps with what it thinks should be there, influenced by how you feel right now. So get this, your memories are literally being rewritten every time you access them.
And this leads to a really important point. Feeling certain about a memory means absolutely nothing about whether it's accurate. You can be 100% sure you remember something perfectly, down to the last detail, and be completely wrong. It's why eyewitness testimony can be so dangerous in court. Two people can see the exact same thing and walk away with two totally different but equally confident memories.
Okay, so your brain is filling in visual gaps and rewriting your past, but it goes even deeper than that. To help you focus, your brain doesn't just add information, it actively deletes almost everything around you before you're even aware of it. Try to wrap your mind around this number. Every single second, your senses are getting hit with about 11 million bits of information. That's the light in the room, the hum of your computer, the feeling of the air on your skin, all of it. It's a total data tsunami.
And out of that 11 million bit tsunami, how much can you actually consciously process? About 40. 40, that's it. Your brain is basically a bouncer at the nightclub of your consciousness. It stands at the door and decides what tiny fraction of reality is important enough to let in, and it throws the other 99.999% out on the street.
There's a famous experiment that shows this perfectly. People are told to watch a video of a basketball game and count how many times the players in white pass the ball. Easy enough. But while they're counting, a person in a full gorilla suit walks right into the middle of the game, thumps their chest, and walks off. And the crazy part? Half the people watching never even see the gorilla. It's right there, but their brain decided it wasn't important to the task of counting, so it just deleted it from their reality.
So by now, you might be thinking your brain sounds kind of, well, broken, unreliable. But here's the big twist. All of these things we've talked about, the shortcuts, the memory edits, the filtering, they aren't bugs. They are features. They were designed this way by millions of years of evolution for one simple reason: to keep you alive.
Just look at it this way. Imagine a brain built for perfect accuracy. It would be incredibly slow, and it would burn a ton of energy, analyzing every single detail before making a move. Our ancestors didn't have time for that. When a lion was jumping out of the bushes, they needed a brain that made instant, good enough decisions. Fast and efficient won the evolutionary race because, frankly, it's what works.
So why should you care about any of this? Because knowing your brain's secrets is like having a superpower. Look, you can't stop your brain from taking these shortcuts, but once you know it's happening, you can start to account for it. You can see the world a little bit more clearly.
So here's your new toolkit. Instead of just blindly trusting your gut, you can start to question your first impressions. You can challenge how certain you are about your own memories. You can actively wonder, what gorilla might I be missing right now? It all comes down to adding one simple step. Just pause for a second before you jump to a conclusion.
So I'll leave you with this one question to carry around with you. The next time you feel absolutely certain about something you saw, a memory you have, an opinion of someone, just stop and ask yourself, is that what really happened, or is that just the story my brain decided to tell me? The answer might change everything.